friends, I'm Laura and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to take you on an autumn vlog as we just soak in the very last bits of autumn before the season transitions into all of the holiday and Christmas stuff. This last bit of November is usually taken over by all the Christmas things, and I'm guilty. I'm one of the people who loves Christmas, but there are still a few things on my autumn bucket list that I really want to get done before I decorate the Christmas tree. So I figured now is the perfect time to wrap up autumn and get ready to transition into a brand new season. I'm going to start off my end of autumn day by baking an autumnal treat. I am baking these apple muffins, and it took quite a while to find a recipe that used actual apples rather than applesauce. But I kept looking until I found one because we had quite a few apples that needed to get used. And I also loved the idea of having actual apple chunks inside of the muffins. I thought that sounded so good. And gluten-free baking is somewhat of a question mark. I feel like things often don't bake according to the directions. Like it might have to stay in twice as long as it says, even if you're using a gluten-free recipe. But this was by far the best gluten-free baking recipe I've ever tried. Like it went exactly according to instruction and turned out perfectly. So I was really pleased with it. Baking takes me quite a bit longer than they say it will on the recipe. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I feel like it takes me at least twice as long as the recipe says for me to cook or bake something. So this took up a good chunk of my morning, and it was a perfect way to start the morning. One thing I did learn throughout this process, though, was that cute bell sleeves are not very practical while baking or cleaning or doing any kitchen stuff. They're very aesthetic and adorable, and I love the 70s vibe, but goodness, that was definitely a challenge. I have eaten so much of this dough already because it is so good. I cannot wait for these to come out. I hope they cook really well. I feel like sometimes baking with gluten-free is like a guessing game and it doesn't always turn out the way you want it to, and I just really hope these do because the mixture before it's cooked is absolutely amazing. So if these turn out, they will be a wonderful snack. Got my apple muffin here and it smells so good. I'm excited because I think it turned out well, but we're gonna do a taste test together. So the true measure of whether or not a gluten-free recipe turned out well is when you open it up. Is it still soaking wet on the inside, or did it actually bake well? And as you can see, there's a little bit of moisture there, but that's not too bad. Oh yeah. That looks like a proper muffin. That is pretty good, especially when you get a little apple chunk in there. I will say, I think the batter was a little bit more flavorful than the finished baked good. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe just some of the flavor dissipates as it's baking, but I think if I were going to make the recipe again, I would add probably a little bit more cinnamon and cook it slightly less long than I did. But overall, it turned out really well. It's baked all the way through and it's like really warming and simple, which I don't know, it's like a very calming flavor, especially in a time of year when there can be a lot of like really obnoxious flavors, like really strong pumpkin spice stuff. Like that's just like a really soothing, hearty, warm, comforting feeling in the belly and on the taste buds. Okay, that was my second bite. It got even better with the second bite because instead of taking a bite of the bottom, this time I took a bite all the way through from top to bottom, which included the crumble on the top of the muffin. So good, so yummy. Next on my list was doing some scrapbooking. One of the goals that I had on my November list was to finish up a project. I have a bunch of old scrapbooks that need to get finished up, and I do all kinds of scrapbooking. I've done Project Life, I do traditional scrapbooking, I often do Gratitude Documented, which is what I'm working on today, and then I also do projects December Daily and One Little Word, which are all separate projects, but it's a lot of stuff. And throughout the years, I've had a lot of albums that got started and never finished. So I was really eager in the month of November, as we get closer to the end of the year, to finish up a project and just take one thing off of my plate and off of the back of my mind. And so I chose this Gratitude Documented mini album, which is documenting my gratitude from November 2021. And this was started in a really rough season. We had just gotten married and I had just graduated my master's program. And we came home from our honeymoon and the house was flooded. My dog had gotten scared during a storm and she bit through the clean water intake pipe to the toilet and it flooded the entire house. And that set off a series of events that were extremely unfortunate. We had to move out of our house for, I think, 5 months. And of course, they told us it would take like 4 weeks, and it took 5 months. My dog died very unexpectedly. Her increased anxiety was the result of dementia and just being older in age. She was 12 years old. And took her to the emergency vet one night because she was acting really strange and I could tell something was wrong, and very unexpectedly had to put her down. Very tragic. We lost her a month after she flooded the house. And then when we were living in a hotel, our boy dog got attacked by another dog, and I thought he was going to die. Thank goodness he is okay to this day. And everything turned out to be okay. They had to put drainage tubes in his neck. It looked really horrible. But it was a really rough season of life for us, and we had so many challenges. And a project like this, Gratitude Documented, where you document one thing that you're grateful for each day, I think it just really helps with mindset and getting your mind to focus on the right things and really having a habit of gratitude. So I had started this project back in November 2021 and finally finished it in November 2023. And I'm so glad to have that album done. And then I will finish off this vlog by showing you some gorgeous slow motion video of our new puppy. Meet Benjamin. He is a total sweetheart and totally adorable. And I am very much in love with him. And he is very much in love with the autumn leaves. He gets the zoomies and loves to run around in them. And I thought it would be a great way to end this end of autumn vlog, is to show you some of his fun playing in the leaves. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more. I've got a new video every Friday. And thank you for being here. I hope you have a lovely start to December, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.